I am standing in front of a house that has no shortage of folklore surrounding it. And I'm going to tell you all about this place. In 1920, a man named William Dempsey purchased this piece of property from a woman named Lillian Duvail. I couldn't find shit on Lillian Duvail, so all I can really say about her for sure is that in 1920, she made a little bit of cash. Now, in 1926, William Dempsey built this structure over top of an artesian well and put a bunch of machinery inside of it so that it could provide water to families that lived in the surrounding area. At some point along the line, old Bill Dempsey and his wife Agnes, just a fantastic early 1900s name, had plans to build some kind of a residence on the second floor of the building. The plans never actually went through. No residence was ever built. And here is where we arrive at our first bit of folklore. A rumor got started that Bill Dempsey and his wife lived in this place. They didn't because there was nowhere to live, and that William Dempsey became very ill. The rumor has it that he was confined to the second floor. His wife served as his caretaker, having to walk up and down the stairs upwards of 20 times per day. Oh, the humanity. At some point, she went up and brought him his dinner, went downstairs only to never return. And William Dempsey supposedly died of dehydration and starvation. At some point, the police get a tip that something terrible happened in the house. The responding officer shows up, and upon seeing whatever horrific thing he saw in there, immediately leaves the residence, heads down the street, and offs himself. This sort of dovetails into another piece of folklore. There are several versions of the same story. They say that William Dempsey unalived his whole family, and upon realizing the gravity of what he just did, unalived himself. We know this isn't true because in 1937, when William Dempsey passed away, ownership of the property and the pump house on it remained in his family until the property sold in 2004, 2005, when the township purchased the piece of property. People met his children, so we know that's all bullshit. And people love to say that you can still see a noose hanging in a tree where he died, or that his ghost still remains at the pump house. Now, another thing I read about this place is that some people know it as the Devil's Whorehouse. It sounds like something a televangelist would call like a casino. I have no idea where this term came from, but if any of the sleuths out there can help me figure it out. I don't think it's at all applicable to this story. I do think it's kind of funny. The township purchased it with hopes of trying to get it listed in the state and national register of historic places, both of which actually did just happen a few years ago. The building itself is made out of this peanut stone. Apparently it was at one point pretty native to this area and is now at this point extremely rare. And a building that still stands from the early 20th century, one that was providing water to people before the advent of municipal water systems, is definitely worth preserving. But I guess that's not an interesting enough story for some people. William Dempsey was not the murder-suicider that people allege he was. He was a philanthropist. He built a system to provide his neighbors with clean drinking water, donated a section of his property that would eventually become this very beach. It's the bay, but still a beach nonetheless. And he actually publicly went on record at one point against the annexation of this section of town by the next town over, just because there's an old building in an area and you think to yourself, oh, there just has to be something going on there. It's just the legacy of a guy who lived a long time ago. Your fabricated stories could affect the lives of real people. Maybe go do your ghost hunting somewhere else. I'll see you tomorrow.